Young World, LOD321, LOD versus the Internet. If you haven't heard by now, my main channel has been shut down, terminated, completely destroyed. But so if you never saw my other channel or wasn't familiar with me before, if you hear me talk about topics like this, it might sound real crazy and out of line, but this is right up my alley. You know what I'm saying? Talking about situations such as these. So Steve Harvey, you got a person who's easily controlled already as it is. Steve Harvey is a person that doesn't really need to they don't really need to do much to control Steve Harvey. They never have, because Steve Harvey, I don't really want to say that he's such a sellout, but he's a person that comes from extreme struggle, you know what I mean? So when he first got his first taste of a luxurious life, he wasn't going to give that up for nobody under no circumstances. He'll give anybody up, he'll let anybody go, he'll turn anybody in. That's just his character, you know what I'm saying? I'm just calling it like I see it. But he came out on really came out to the public as far as being really known on Def Comedy Jam years ago. I remember when I seen him first emerge on Def Comedy Jam. He had his stand up, you know what I mean, on there, a couple minutes or whatever. It was pretty good, you know what I mean. He got a good response. But that was kind of his start. But and since then he's been rising up, and a lot of people always wondered how the hell Steve Harvey did he rise up the way he did, and then how did he like got so many different jobs going on, so many different things that he does. Some people even say Steve Harvey's a clone, because how could he be in so many different places at once? He got the morning show, he got TV shows, he got all kind of stuff going on. That was something people were saying a while ago, is he a clone? But I ain't going to talk about that right now, whether he is a clone or not, or whether they do have replicas of Steve Harvey. But what I want to talk about is the way that they control Steve Harvey. At one point, Steve Harvey and Bernie Mac had serious beef going on. They did the Kings of Comedy tour. It would appear that they was real close friends. That's how it looked on camera. That's how it looked on TV. But deep down inside, Steve Harvey and Bernie Mac didn't get along. Part of it comes from, there's a story that Bernie Mac was exposed to a cloning center. And when they took Bernie Mac there to try to keep him in line and show him some stuff to try to pull him in closer, it was kind of like a make or break time for Bernie Mac as far as, can we trust you or can we not? So when they took Bernie Mac to the cloning centers, allegedly, he couldn't deal with it. He left there, he started talking about it. He told Steve Harvey about it, thinking Steve Harvey was going to be on his side as far as trying to expose it. But it didn't go like that, allegedly. Steve Harvey was like, look, leave it alone. Don't be talking about it. Just forget about it. You know what I'm saying? He said that's what they be doing. And we're here trying to come up, so you just got to deal with it and just don't worry about it. I guess Bernie Mac couldn't deal with it in his own kind of way or whatever. So that started causing a divide between Steve Harvey and Bernie Mac. And then when Bernie Mac died, not while he was on the film, but he got sick while he was making the film with Samuel L. Jackson. And there's a whole different story about Samuel L. Jackson. I'm going to tell you, there's a whole different thing going on with Samuel L. Jackson. Put it this way, it's no coincidence that Samuel L. Jackson just had that movie come out called the Hitman's Bodyguard, I think it's called, or something like that, or the Hitman's Chauffeur, something along those lines. I'll just put it like that. I'll come back to that on a different video. But that's when Bernie Mac got sick, messing around with Samuel L. Jackson. So that's a whole different story in itself. But like I said, Steve Harvey and Bernie Mac did the Kings of Comedy tour. It was going around. I got a lot of attention. That was a big thing in comedy. But Bernie Mac started getting a lot of offers and a lot of, you know what I'm saying, jobs and different things to do. You got the Bernie Mac show, the TV show. Steve Harvey wasn't really cool with Bernie Mac getting the kind of offers and stuff he was getting. But Steve Harvey felt like he should be in front of Bernie Mac. You know what I'm saying? He felt like he should have been able to get certain roles and certain stuff before Bernie Mac would be considered for him. So Steve Harvey was hating on him. And it's a known fact that when Bernie Mac died, him and Steve Harvey was at odds. They weren't talking. They had a little bit of beef going on because of stuff like that. But when he died, Steve Harvey tried to make it seem like everything was all good between them and wasn't really that much of a big deal. You know what I mean? But everybody who knew about it knew that they had problems when Bernie Mac died. They wasn't getting along. But like I was saying, so Steve Harvey kind of benefited from Bernie Mac passing away, because Steve Harvey and Bernie Mac kind of fill the same holder. Older black men, they satisfy a certain genre of fans. You know what I mean? So there's enough room for more than one person. But if you know how these things work, there's always going to be that person that's in the lead for the certain role that they're fulfilling, and that happens to be Steve Harvey right now. But when Steve Harvey went through all that, at one point Steve Harvey did kind of try to come out of the control and he kind of started feeling a certain type of way about everything that was going on. So he kind of felt like he was going to get to the point where he might have wanted to come out and start speaking out against stuff. So what they did to Steve Harvey was, on his show, the talk show, they bought some people up from his past to put him back in his place. There was an episode, it was a couple years ago. I remember watching this episode when it was actually, like, when it originally aired a couple years ago. It was an episode about, they found some of his long lost friends and people that he known from a long time ago, this guy and this girl. So they surprised him with it on this show. So when they say, Steve Harvey, we found your peoples, and they show who the people are, if you notice, he starts breaking down crying. It looks like he's crying tears of joy, but what's really going on is he's crying because he's nervous and scared to death. He can't believe they found these people that they're showing on TV now on his show, because he's not realizing which way is this going to go. Or is it going to be cool, or are they going to sit here and expose some shit I was doing back in the day? And if you notice, when the guy said on here, he says, I'll put the link to the video in the description, because I don't want to play the video on here because they'll probably give me a copyright strike. But it's just real funny how the first thing the guy said was, hey Steve, I love you, babe. And then he was like, I bought your girlfriend. He said, I bought your girlfriend. Steve Harvey was like, who, Becky? You know what I'm saying? Like who, Becky? Like, he sound terrified. Like, who, Becky? And then they show Becky. Becky looked nervous. You know what I'm saying? She looked like something ain't right with her. The way she's standing next to dude, because Steve Harvey just sitting there crying. She looked like she kind of like, you know what I'm saying, trying to get dude to fall back or something a little bit. Like she's tapping on his chest like that's enough or something. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing is just weird. You can tell that they got some dirt on Steve Harvey with these people, however it went. The Steve Harvey comes out and says that they let him stay with him back in the day. He was homeless, had nowhere to go and stuff like that. But these people are key to him being able to expose something of Steve Harvey's past that he definitely don't want to come out. And the main part about this, to me, that tells you that this is what I'm saying it is that Steve Harvey says at the end, he says, I've been looking for y'all for years. He says, I'm going to send the plane to pick you up, come to the show. Now you telling me in this day and age, in the world of technology and all the stuff we got going on, you want to tell me if he was really looking for these people that he wouldn't have found them by now? He said, look, I got money now, he said to the dude. So you're going to tell me you can't find two alleged law-abiding citizens in the world today? You can find two criminals in the world today, anywhere in the world with the technology we got. You can find two fugitives on the run from the law. You can't find two regular people if you've been looking for them for all these years with the money you got. That's why it don't make sense. You could say at the least case scenario that Steve Harvey is full of shit. You know what I mean? Like, at least that much. As far as I'm talking about, he been looking for them for years. He breaking down crying, talking about these people took him in, they gave him a chance, sheltered him and stuff like that. So they put these people on his show to surprise him. Like, look, you're going to either listen, get back in line, do what you got to do, or you'll be exposed. So like I said, on this episode, all this crying and stuff he's doing, he's not crying tears of joy. He's crying out of nervousness and desperation. He's like, oh shit, what the hell's about to happen? So he just plays along with it, because at this point, I'm sure he realized when he seen them, once they didn't come out and just say the crazy stuff they could have said, he realized, I'm sure in his mind, he's probably like, all right, they're putting these people here to let me know if I fuck up, they'll take me down. But if I go along with it, then I'll be alright. So that's what he did. He went along with it. You know what I'm saying? So, and there's a lot more stuff about Steve Harvey in his past. That's why when it came time to, somebody had to be called to go meet Donald Trump, they picked Steve Harvey knowing he would show up, because he has to show up. He can't not show up because he got too much to lose. And a person like him, even besides all that stuff they got on him, he don't want to lose it anyway. He might have had a little time period when he felt like he might have been ready to be conscious, you know what I mean? But deep down inside, he don't care anyway. He's not a person that's hard to control because he don't want to lose the stuff he got for nobody, for nothing, for nobody. And that's just how Steve Harvey is.